Hey Reddit, this might be a long one, but I need to get it out. I, 30 from Ms., have been married to my wife, Sarah, 3 to F, for 8 years. We've got two beautiful kids, and what I thought was a rock-solid marriage. I never suspected anything was wrong until a few weeks ago. Sarah and I met in college. We were the classic opposites attract kind of couple. I was a bit introverted, nerdy, and focused on my studies. Sarah was the social butterfly, always the life of the party, but we balanced each other out, and I loved her for her energy and warmth. She'd light up any room she walked into. Fast forward to a month ago, she tells me she wants to take a weekend trip to recharge with a few of her girlfriends. She's been working hard, and I know parenting has been exhausting, so I didn't question it. In fact, I encouraged her. I even offered to take care of the kids so she could have a break. The Friday she was supposed to leave, she seemed extra affectionate, gave me a kiss, and told me how lucky she felt to have such an understanding husband. I thought it was sweet until I started noticing a few odd things. She'd said she was going to stay in a cabin with her girlfriends, but when I asked where they were going, she didn't give a clear answer. She brushed it off, saying they wanted a surprise destination. It didn't raise too many alarms for me. Oh, because Sarah has always loved spontaneity. Saturday evening, I was out with my best friend, Dave, 35 Ms. He and I go way back since high school. Actually, he's practically family, and I've always trusted him with everything. After a few beers, I mentioned that Sarah was on a girls' trip. Dave nodded, not saying much, but I thought I saw something shift in his expression. I asked if something was bothering him, but he just laughed it off. The next morning, I started feeling weird about the whole thing. It was just a gut feeling, you know. I decided to call one of Sarah's friends, Emily, who was supposedly on the trip with her. Emily picked up and was friendly but confused. When I asked if they were having a good time, there was a long pause. "What trip?" she asked. The pit in my stomach grew. I tried to play it off, saying I must have been mistaken, but I was already putting the pieces together. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but it was clear that something wasn't adding up. I spent the rest of the weekend in a fog, taking care of the kids, trying to act normal. I didn't want to believe that Sarah would lie to me, but by Sunday night, I was a wreck. Sarah came home looking relaxed and refreshed, and I forced myself to play along, acting like nothing was wrong. But I couldn't keep it to myself. I went over to Dave's place the next day. I needed to talk to someone who would be honest with me. When I told him everything, he was silent for a long time, avoiding eye contact. I started pressing him, asking if he knew anything, and he looked guilty. My heart sank. "Look, man," he finally said, "there's something you should know." He wouldn't meet my eyes. Sarah didn't go with her friends. She was with me. I can't describe the wave of anger, confusion, and betrayal that hit me. I trusted both of them. We'd shared so much. Dave said it had only been going on for a few months, that it just happened, and that he was so sorry, but none of it mattered. I was furious. I left his place and went home, needing to figure out what to say to Sarah. I couldn't even look at her. That night, I asked her directly where she'd been, and she frowned. See, it was like watching a mask fall off her face. She knew I knew. Eventually, she admitted it. She cried, said it was a mistake, that it was nothing serious, that she loved me, that she'd do anything to make things right. But it was like I couldn't hear her. I was numb. We're now in the taking time apart stage. I'm staying with my parents, trying to keep things civil for the kids. They don't know what's going on yet, but I'm dreading the day when I have to explain why Daddy isn't home every night. My head's a mess. I lost my wife and my best friend in one fell swoop. I don't know if I'll ever be able to trust anyone like that again. The worst part is that I keep replaying every moment of the past few months, wondering how I missed it, questioning everything. Reddit, I'm at a loss. I don't know if I should try to work it out for the kids, or if I should just move on. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to go through, and I don't know how to handle it. TL, doctor, my wife lied about a girls' trip, only to go away with my best friend. I'm broken, trying to figure out if there's anything left to salvage in my life.